Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello all, and what is going on? How y'all doing on this Monday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993. Yes, I'm not really in the tire, but I'm off work today and tomorrow, using some couple more vacation days. I'll explain what the walking around is in a second. But I'm here to give my brief thoughts on this past week's episode of SmackDown, the October 27th, 2023 edition. And this show took place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like Raw last week, the card for Crown Jewel seems pretty set. So it looks like that, like the last week or two before Crown Jewel could seem like a little bit filler. That's kind of what we got on this show. I mean, decent. We got the contract signing with Roman Reigns and L.A. Knight, yeah, happening as well. Couple of little things, but again, not much really happened. We had a women's championship match we made official for Crown Jewel as well. We'll talk about that as well. But again, not much really happened. It wasn't a bad show. I didn't hate it though, but in between decent to solid, it was what it was. It was a decent show with stuff that happened, but nothing like mind blowing you're ever going to go back and watch again. But before we get into the show, I do have two very, very special guests that I have with me today, sitting in the room. One of them, let me back up here for a second so you can see him in the shot, is my dog. Well, sorry, I just want a second. Is my dog Kingsley, who is almost 4 years old. And as you see in my lap, the reason why I wasn't including both of them in here, because one, I do have to watch this little baby. But two, I didn't want one of them to be left out. Because the whole reason why we got one more dog was so eventually Kingsley had a playmate. And that playmate is Sabbath. Say hello to Sabbath, everybody. We call him Sabby for short. He's a black chocolate lab. He's 12 weeks old. And he likes to eat a lot already. So that's my boy. But yes, I'm home, of course, with just all my animals, which of course I have cats also that came with my wife. Again, she kept saying she wanted to get one more dog, which I understood why, so that Kingsley would have somebody to play with. I think Kingsley's still warming up to Sabbath, or Sabby for short. But hopefully they'll be best buddies soon. But again, I want to keep Sabbath in here because he's still a baby, and we're still watching where he goes in the house and whatnot. So I had to have him come in here with me. But I also wanted Kingsley to come in here with me also. Normally I have all the animals stay out throughout my streams, but again, we're doing the whole thing still. We're trying to make sure that all the animals aren't feeling like they're viewed any differently. So that's why I let them both come in for my stream. So yeah, if you hear me walking around, that's Kingsley. Sabbath though is relaxing right in my lap. But yeah, I just want to introduce to you guys, well, I'm sure you've seen Kingsley before in other videos, but I want to introduce you guys to little Sabby right here. And, of course, he'll be a great little brother to Kingsley. Even though he might get a little bit bigger than Kingsley, but, we'll see. Anyways, though, let's roll in and talk about this episode of SmackDown. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to say too much about it, but, again, I always say that, and then I end up saying more than I thought I would. But the show opened up with Roman Reigns coming out with Paul Heyman. Now, this is a first. Bless you, King. Roman didn't make his full entrance. L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight interrupted Roman's entrance and came out. And he brushes right past them and gets right in the ring and basically says, let me talk to you. Let's get this over with. So, and also the noteworthy thing too here is L.A. Knight took a seat at the head of the table. He beat Roman to his seat, trying to get into his head. Sits down, and Roman gets in, and he sits, in the other chair. And then Heyman tries to move the table on him, but Knight won't let him. He ain't got the time. It's time to sign the contract and sign away his title. Nick Aldis takes control of the contract signing and runs with the basics, but LA Knight takes over and says the contract says Roman will hand the title over to him. So he'll sign it right now. And he passes it on to Roman, who chuckles and starts calling him an idiot, basically saying the typical stuff of like, you ever had a contract signed or a title match before? So, because you're new to this, I'll go real gentle on him. And then, of course, Reigns goes to sign the contract, but the pen won't work, so he tosses it. And then Paul gives him a backup pen, which leads to the crowd saying, Roman's scared, Roman's scared. Nick Aldis takes the signed contract, wishes him best of luck, and then leaves. But then Roman tries to get up, and Knight stops him, saying he's sitting at the head of the table, and this is over when he says it is. And he admits this is his first WWE title match, and if he wants to take it easy, he's already beat. Is this the first time? Hell yeah. But after only a year, he's at the head of this table, about to take Roman's title so fast, he didn't even know what hit him. Yeah, this is the first time, but he only needs one time. Where Roman failed, and I love this line, he failed over and over again, busy doing suffering succotash, and which I pop for that. I'm like, of course he would go there and try and, get into his head. Suffering succotash. And then he said while he's been doing that, he's been out here telling everybody whose game it is because there can only be one world champion. Yeah! Roman then says he's had enough and he tips the table over and they start fighting. But then LA Knight does recover and starts stomping the hell out of Roman's chest in the corner. Roman then gets away, and then Jimmy Uso comes out of nowhere trying to attack LA Knight, but LA just takes him like he's nothing and slams him through a table. And then let's address the rest of the stuff with the Bloodline and LA Knight. So like that contract signing was good. But then later in the show, Roman's backstage chilling, and he basically told Jimmy, like, what happened out there? He goes, called an audible, sir. Basically, again, first off, walking around, act like he's the shit, like he's this and that, when again, reality is, he's losing left and right, and he's really not bringing any to the table. And I keep saying, the more and more the storyline goes on, even with Roman back 2 weeks in a row, there's just more and more cracks being formed in the storyline. Like, at this point, it's obvious again, they're stalling for so much for WrestleMania. Roman and Cody, Jimmy versus Jay. You had to have done this story better if the Bloodline was so weren't involved. Like, you could do this heel Jimmy, just do it without the Bloodline. Because it still ain't working. It really ain't working. But then, and also too, my thing is why is Roman still trusting Jimmy so easily when in reality, he really shouldn't? Jimmy's not succeeding, so he should be a little more up his booty or basically not give him that spot in the Bloodline at all back. But again, it's just making no sense. It's really, really not making no sense whatsoever. He tells Jimmy to take care of LA Knight. Jimmy then loses to LA Knight in the main event. Roman tries to attack him afterwards, but LA Knight takes out both him and Jimmy with the BFT. Okay? Okay, fine, but it's like the card's set. Nothing else is going to be really developed as of now from all this. So, you might as well just get the crown jewel. Which I will probably try to do my predictions sometime this week. Well, I do this. Maybe tomorrow or or Thursday even. I don't know. At some point, those I gotta do, of course, because of pay-per-views on Saturday. But I will be doing Crown Jewel preview and predictions. So we have all that stuff happening with the Bloodline. LWO's Carlito and Santos Escobar took on the Street Profits, who came out to a new theme song. Not bad. Again, it's not the best, but it's not bad. I like it a little. Match was good. I thought it was a fairly good match. The Street Profits, though, do win with their Revelation Tag Team finisher. During the match, though, backstage, we see Rey Mysterio, who was watching the match, get taken out by Logan Paul, bragging about his one lucky punch, which is annoying. And then Santos then tells Carlito to go to the back to help Rey. And then, of course, he turns around and he gets taken out with the Revelation, and the Street Profits get the victory. Okay, fine there. Logan Paul was at an interview, but doesn't have much to say, just some trash talk on Rey. He then runs into Kevin Owens, who's wearing a Rey Mysterio mask. Then Kevin runs into Grayson and Austin, and they're just like, you said you could punch us both at the same time in the face. Yeah, right. Owens walks away, then he, sure enough, does punch them both in the face with one punch. Okay? Now this led to something good. We had Dragon Lee, who again is seemingly official on SmackDown. Again, I'm surprised he ain't with the LWO. But he's interviewed backstage before Cedric Alexander. Hey Cedric, what's up, man? Rolls up and goes to chat. And he says he sees Dragon Lee lighting a fire under him, and he'd like nothing more than a match with him tonight. And they shake hands, and they have a match. And to me, it was, besides the contract signing, probably the next best thing on this show, which was awesome. I do like in the promo how Cedric does refer to who he is, and you know how he got his opportunity, and you know the fans endorsing him and Triple H and whatnot. I like how he mentioned all that. Like, I don't know if that's like a long-term thing or just a thing to kind of like put a little spark on the match. But Cedric's still a free agent at the time currently, but I did like it. I'm hoping Triple H gets something for him to do, because again, he is much more than just a freaking Cruiserweight champion. And of course, he was getting somewhere with the Hurt Business, but then they pulled the plug on that. But yeah, we'll see what happens if they continue to do more with Cedric. It was just a one-off thing to put over Dragon Lee. But we'll see what goes there. Shotzi Blackheart then beats Chelsea Green, of course, earlier with a crucifix pin. Okay. Not sure it's going to lead to any sort of match or anything, but, you know, it's whatever. We also have John Cena on the show. He mentions, though, again, how about his little losing streak he's got right now. And he mentions how he's getting the You Still Got It chant, but he also says a response to it was, what if I don't? Basically, he's just hyping up, like, this will be officially, he's going to take on Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel next Saturday. Paul Heyman, of course, comes out and says he's here with no hustle, no loyalty, and anything but the truth, and he's out here with respect. He always mentions how he was very, you know, much of a fan of John Cena. But then, of course, John Cena is not the greatest of all time anymore, which, again, he still isn't, but either way. But he says it's not so bad as long as you pick a microphone up and bring it to his lips, because he's still the greatest at that. And he could have been Paul until he pissed off the Bloodline. Now, the order has come from the top, and that Solo's going to hit with the Samoan Spike. And he won't be able to speak anymore. Solo takes that away, and then the Bloodline takes him away from the universe for good. And of course, Solo goes in and hits the Samoan Spike to surprise Cena. Again, we'll see where it goes. I can definitely possibly see them getting Cena the win. But I kind of wonder if, of course, they will give Cena a loss here. Because I still don't know, do you really want Solo to lose to John Cena? And if I'm being quite, you know, frank with you guys, John Cena didn't really look awesome. You can tell either his age is starting to get to him, the few matches he's had this year, or I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how good the match will be because he didn't seem like he was. I don't want to say he was bad, but it's just that he just didn't seem as. Or again, it could be just typical, John Cena gets beat up and then needs to come back and wins and whatnot booking, all that crazy booking they used to do. But we'll see how that match goes at Crown Jewel. We already talked about LA Knight, talk about Cedric and Dragon Lee. I think the last thing we didn't talk about yet is Bianca Belair coming back and saying she's excited to be back, and she advises how Damage Control wrote her off TV in her 2 months ago, and she was sitting at home with nothing but her thoughts, and she tries to rehab the pain. She's going to focus on anything how to make Damage Control pay. She would deal with them, of course, since they first formed. And basically, it sets up for a match between Damage Control. I'm sorry, between Bianca and Io for Crown Jewel. We'll see how it goes. I was more interested the first time, but yeah, right now, I'm still feeling more so Io and Asuka. We'll see what happens with Io and Bianca. Hopefully, Bianca loses, and it still continues the slow heel turn of Bianca Belair. But when will that happen? We'll see. So guys, that's going to do it. Again, not too many thoughts. Just a decent review of SmackDown. I'll give it a C+. I was leaning towards B-, but I'm still thinking C+. Nothing astronomically amazing happened on the show. And again, it just feels like that the card is set. They're just filling in the time, basically. Kingsley did watch SmackDown on Friday. We didn't pick up Sabby until Saturday, so Sabby didn't get to see SmackDown. But tonight will be Sabby's first wrestling show when Sabby watches Raw with us. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you to both Kingsley and Sabby for sitting here with me. Again, I gave the show a C+. What are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown? Very quick show. Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. And you may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. Until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your day, and don't forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion. That is a fact of life. Yeah!